Hello, grade 8 math students. Today, let's learn about the volume of triangular prisms. A quick reminder from last week, volume is just the amount of space that something occupies, or you can think about it as how much something a three-dimensional shape can hold. In this case, it's cubes, and we read the 1 with the centimeters and an exponent of 3 as 1 cubic centimeter. All right, let's get rocking with triangular prisms. So we see here, we've got a triangular prism, and one of the hardest things in these kind of questions is just recognizing what number is the height of the triangle, what number is the base of the triangle, and what number is the height of the entire prism. And we'll talk about that as we go. All right, so the easiest kind of question you'll see is a question where you're given the area. So if you think back to a lesson that Miss Muirhead did last week, or maybe at the start of this week, questions that give you the area of the base, all you need to do is multiply that area by the height of the prism. So in this case, the area of the base, which is always going to be a triangular side for triangular prisms. You can just picture in your mind always flipping that prism up onto its triangular side and making sure the base is the shape of a triangle. Okay, so that area is 17 centimeters squared, and the height of the prism is 10 centimeters squared. You just multiply those together, and the answer is 170 cubic centimeters, or centimeters to the power of 3. So let's move on to a question where we need to do a little bit more math. Again, this time, we're going to find the area of the base, which is one of our triangles, and then multiply it by the height of the prism. So you can see I've got this set up in a two-step equation. I'm going to find that base, and then I'm going to multiply it by the height of the prism. So this here really is the formula. The next question, we'll do this all at once. But for number 2 here, I'll just break it down. All right, so finding the area of the base of this triangle is 8 centimeters, and the height is 5. We divide that by 2, and we get 20 centimeters squared for the area of the base. We then need to multiply that by the height of the prism, which in this case is 4. So 20 centimeters squared multiplied by 4 centimeters is 80 centimeters cubed. Okay, moving on to example 3 here. This time we're going to do the exact same style of question, except I'm going to do it all in one step with this formula right here. So volume is equal to the area of the base times the height of the prism. Well, I've just done my 2 steps all at once here. So the area of the base, in this case, is 9 millimeters, is the base of the triangle, and the height of the triangle is 5 millimeters. Divide that by 2, then in the same step, I multiply by the height of the prism, which is 8. And we can see here that our volume is 180 cubic millimeters. Okay, question number 4, a little bit more tricky, and in this example, you are going to get to see me do some awesome writing with a mouse, so that should be entertaining. So we're going to try and find the height of this prism. So you can see here, we're given the volume. The volume of this weird triangular fish tank is 367.5 cubic centimeters. What I want to find is right here, how high this is if I know that the base, or the width of the base, is 7 and the height of the base is 5. So we're going to start by rearranging our formula. I'm going to use this exact same formula we did with the last question. Only this time, I want to know this part right here, height of the prism. Everything else I'm given. So let's go ahead and rearrange this formula. Now, true, you could put in the numbers first and then move things around, but there's a really important skill involved here that's kind of in the cracks of the curriculum, and that is manipulating formulas. It will help you so much in your future in math, and really, really in your future in physics and chemistry, so in your sciences, if you can rearrange formulas in order to solve different parts of them. It's a basic skill of algebra. So all we're going to do is try and isolate height of the prism on one side. So I'm just going to call that a small h. That's the one we want to find. But we've got all this other junk in the way right now. So let's try and get rid of some of this stuff. In order to cancel something out, you have to do the opposite. So right now, height of the prism is being complicated by the base and the height of the triangle and divided by 2. If I want to move these things to the other side of the equal sign, here's what this is going to look like. I'm going to take this 2. Right now, it's being divided. It's on the bottom of the fraction. So the opposite of divide is multiply. So I'm going to multiply this whole side by 2. But what I do to the right side in algebra, I do to the left. So the volume over here, I'm going to multiply that by 2 as well. So that's 2 times the volume, and now the 2's cancel. My next step is to get rid of both the base and the height. Right now, they're being multiplied. They're on the top. The opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm just going to write over on this side of the equation. Divide by base and divide by height. Okay, once I do that on one side of the equation, again, those are going to cancel, so they're gone. But remember, it's algebra, so I'm going to do to the left side what I've done to the right side. So over here, all of this, my 2 times volume, is going to have to be divided by, and I'm just going to use a B and an H to signify that. So notice that on the right side of the equation, the only thing I have left here is height of prism. Everything else is gone. So let me just draw a line here, and I'm going to rewrite this. And look, we've got H all by itself on one side of the equation. That's what we are going for. That's the height of the prism. Notice there's kind of 2 H's in this formula. There's an H that belongs to the triangle, and there's an H that belongs at the height of the prism. Okay, so now I'm just going to try and rewrite this, but in a much nicer way. So 2 times V, I can just write this as 2V, that means 2 times the volume, divided by the base times the height. And remember, those 2 numbers refer to the triangle. Okay, so twice the volume divided by base times height of the triangle, that's going to tell me the height of the entire prism. Let's go ahead and put some numbers in for this now. I'm going to say 2 times 367.5 centimeters cubed divided by, well, the base of my triangle was 7 centimeters, and the height of that triangle is 5 centimeters. Okay, so let's simplify this, and that's going to equal H, by the way. And I'll draw myself a little box here to put the answer in. So if I grab out a calculator, here we go. I've got 2 times 367.5. That's equal to 735. But then I've got to divide that by 7, and I've got to divide that by 5, and that's equal to 21 centimeters. So the height of the prism is 21 centimeters. And I'll just apologize right now for my messy writing with the mouse. Okay, so your assignment, don't be afraid to go rewatch that last question slowly. It's probably the hardest thing you'll have to do with triangular prisms. In general, though, I think volume's fairly easy, especially compared to surface area. So you need to go on to your class notebook in Microsoft Teams. You need to please complete those practice questions. The answers will be provided for those. And then, could you please complete the extra practice questions out of your textbook? That starts on page 258. And it's numbers 7, 8, 9, C, and 12. Thank you very much. Have a great day.